Hi, welcome to the series of video lectures on microwave engineering. So we are discussing circular waveguides. In circular waveguides, in the previous class, we have derived the field expressions for transverse electric waves. In short, it is called as TE waves. TE stands for transverse electric waves. So we have seen this circular waveguide. Circular waveguide is a metallic structure of circular shape, of cylindrical shape in fact, in which the electromagnetic wave propagates. So we have assumed that this is a circular waveguide. The axis of the waveguide is oriented along z axis. So assume that the wave is propagating in z direction. The radius of this circular waveguide is assumed as A. So since we have assumed the wave is propagating in z direction, so let us define what is transverse electric waves. We have defined these transverse electric waves. So transverse electric waves, so these are characterized by Ez is equal to 0. Simply remember, Ez is equal to 0 and Hz is not equal to 0. So that is the component of electric field in the direction of propagation is 0, or in other words, the longitudinal component of electric field in the direction of propagation is 0. So therefore, what is the wave equation? Since Hz is not equal to 0, so what is the wave equation? The wave equation is del square Hz is equal to gamma square Hz. So we have derived the solution for this partial differential equation. So that is del square Hz is equal to gamma square Hz, which is also called as Helmholtz equation. So the solution of this equation is written as Hz is equal to H0z. H0z, where this is the amplitude Jn of KCR, where this is called as nth order Bessel's function of first kind, representing the standing waves of cos of Kc into R for R is less than A. I have mentioned the name of this function also in the previous lecture, cos n phi into e power minus j beta suffix g into z. So this term indicates that the wave is propagating in positive z direction. What is our objective? I have explained earlier. Our objective is to find out what is ER, E phi, HR and H phi in terms of Hz. So therefore, in the previous lecture we have derived ER. So the expression of ER is like this. The expression of E phi we found like this. So Ez is equal to 0 since it is TE wave. So Ez is equal to 0, HR is equal to this and H phi is equal to this. So we further extend this class from this field components and Hz. So let us first take the boundary conditions. Let us first take the boundary conditions. The boundary condition. So what is our circular waveguide? So this is our circular waveguide. So what is the boundary condition you have to remember is that, for example, I am roughly drawing this. So here the boundary condition is that the phi component, so this is called as the phi component. The phi component, so that is represented as E phi, or the radial component HR at what is the radius? At R is equal to A radius. So what is the boundary condition? The phi component, so this is the phi component of electric field and the radial component of magnetic field at R is equal to A. What is the boundary? R is equal to A is the boundary. At R is equal to A, the phi component, that is E phi is equal to 0 and radial component HR is equal to 0. So these are the boundary conditions. If you write these two boundary conditions, the phi component of electric field, the phi component of electric field, that is E phi, or at R is equal to A, that is at R is equal to A, or the radial component of magnetic field, so that is HR at R is equal to A. What is the boundary? At R is equal to A is 0. So we have to use this boundary condition. So therefore, that is what we have to write, that is E phi is equal to 0 or HR is equal to 0 at the, what is the boundary condition? At R is equal to A. So therefore, in this expression you can see that E phi is equal to 0 and R HR is equal to 0 makes, so E phi is equal to 0, it will make a dou HZ by dou R is equal to 0, HR is equal to 0, which also makes dou HZ by dou R is equal to 0. So from this boundary condition implies, which implies so dou HZ by dou R, dou HZ by dou R at R is equal to A is equal to 0. So this is the boundary condition. So in this expression, what is Hz? Substitute Hz is equal to this, which we have derived. Hz is equal to this. So therefore differentiate Hz. So differentiate Hz with respect to R and substitute R is equal to A in this equation E. So therefore what we can write, differentiating Hz with respect to R and substitute R is equal to A. So therefore after differentiating this, what we get, so therefore H0Z, so that means dou Hz by dou R at R is equal to A, which implies H0Z into differentiation of Jn is Jn dash Kc, we have to substitute R is equal to A, so therefore R is equal to A cos of n phi into e power minus j beta suffix g into z is equal to 0. So from this what we can write is, from this, so therefore, so this only make this term to 0 because we cannot make these terms to 0. So therefore Jn R dash of Kc into A is equal to 0. So this is where Jn dash is derivative of Jn, nth order Bessel's function Jn. So therefore, where since Jn is an oscillatory function, so Jn dash is also an oscillatory function. You have to remember that, oscillatory function. So there are infinite number of values of Kc into A which satisfies this equation F. So there are infinite number of values of Kc into A which satisfies this Bessel's function. So therefore there are infinite number of values of Kc into A which makes equation F to 0. So each value is designated as Kc into A is designated as, each value of this Kc into A is designated as x dash of np. Remember that, x dash of np. So therefore from which, so what is the value of Kc? So therefore each solution of Kc into A which makes this equation is represented as x dash of np. So where Kc is given by cutoff wave number is given by x dash np by A. So this is another very, very important formula we use several times. What is Kc? X dash np by A. So where n is equal to number of full cycles of field component, over one revolution of 2 pi. Next, so there is P. So P So P is called as number of zeros of E phi. The number of zeros of E phi. Number of zeros of E phi. So therefore, this is the formula, very important formula. Kc is equal to h dash np by A. Now, so let us find out. So therefore let us find out HR. So which is differentiation of Hz with respect to phi. So differentiate with respect to this equation with respect to phi, and substitute Kc is equal to h dash np by A in this equation. So therefore we write ER as, check carefully, give the amplitude as E0R or give the amplitude as E0R. So because ER is with respect to dou Hz by dou phi, so Jn of Kc into R will remain as it is. So Jn of Kc into, what is Kc? In fact, h dash np by A into R. So cos n phi differentiation is sin n phi. So into e power minus j beta suffix g into z. So this is what you have to write about ER. Coming to E phi, so where E phi, we have to differentiate Hz with respect to R. So therefore E phi, so E phi is written as amplitude E0 phi into differentiation of Jn is Jn dash, because with respect to R, that means we have to differentiate Jn. So what is Kc? H dash np by A into R into cos of n phi will remain as it is, and e power minus j beta suffix g into z. So therefore what is Ez? So Ez is equal to 0 because it is TE wave. So finally what is HR? HR is dou Hz by dou R. So therefore HR is written as H0 R amplitude, because dou Hz by dou R. So Jn dash of x dash np by A into R into cos of n phi into e power minus j beta suffix g into z. So finally h phi is written as h0 phi because it is with respect to phi. Jn will remain as it is. Kc is x dash np by A into R. Cos of n phi will become sin of n phi into e power minus j beta suffix g into z. So these are the field components, final field components of ER, E phi, HR and H phi in terms of Hz. Now, where the wave impedance, another very important word, wave impedance Zg is equal to ER by H phi or minus E phi by HR can be used. What is the wave impedance? E by H ratio is called as wave impedance because we are dealing with cylindrical coordinate system. ER by H phi, in Cartesian coordinate system we can write it as EX by HY or EY by HX, but in cylindrical coordinate system ER by H phi or minus E phi by HR. So this is the wave, another very important formula, wave impedance, which is called as wave impedance or intrinsic impedance. So wave impedance, in fact, Z is called as. Now finally we derive the following equations. First one, the phase, number one, very important derivation, the phase shift constant beta g. So we derived the first one, phase shift constant beta g. So as we know that we have one relation, very important relation, gamma g square is equal to gamma square plus kc square, where gamma g is the propagation constant of the wave inside the circular waveguide, gamma is the propagation constant of the medium outside the circular waveguide, kc is cutoff wave number, which is x dash and p by A, which we have derived. So for lossless mediums, for lossless medium inside and outside the circular waveguide, this is written as alpha g plus j beta g. Alpha is 0, j beta g whole square, which is written as minus beta g square. Gamma square is written as minus omega square mu epsilon plus what is Kc? X dash np by a whole square. So multiply with the minus sign. So therefore beta g, the propagation constant, is written as omega square mu epsilon minus x dash np by a whole square root. So this is the very important formula we use several times. Now the second one is the cutoff frequency, Fc. The second part is cutoff frequency Fc. So in this equation you can check that, say at some particular input frequency, this term, so this term will be equal to this term, because this term is a constant. For a given mode, x dash np is constant and radius of the waveguide is constant. For the given input frequency, at some input frequency, this term is equated to this term. So therefore this term is equal to this term. So that particular frequency is called as cutoff frequency. So therefore at cutoff frequency this equal to this. So therefore at cutoff frequency, so that what is the frequency here? The input frequency. At cutoff frequency, so what we have to equate? Omega c square mu epsilon. So that is equal to Kc square. What is Kc square? X dash np by a whole square. If you take square root on both sides, you get omega c into square root of mu epsilon. So that is equal to x dash np by a. From which, so we can write it as 2 pi fc. So therefore fc is equal to x dash np by 2 pi a into square root of mu epsilon. So this is another very important formula. So while solving the problems we use this formula several times. Now, so where, remember that, note very important thing, TE11 is dominant mode. TE11 is the dominant mode in circular waveguide. So remember that in circular waveguide, which is the dominant mode? TE11 is the dominant mode. For TE11 mode, x dash np is equal to 1.841. So this also we use several times while solving the problems. Dominant mode is the mode which is having lowest cutoff frequency. It is the mode, dominant mode is the mode, it is the mode with lowest cutoff frequency. Remember another very important definition. The mode with lowest cutoff frequency is called dominant mode. Lowest cutoff frequency is called as dominant mode. Now coming to this derivation, so therefore at cutoff frequency, so therefore in this equation x dash np by a can be replaced by omega c square into mu epsilon. So therefore we slightly modify this equation, the phase shift constant of the wave inside the circular waveguide. So therefore we slightly modify this equation as beta g is equal to, keep this term as it is, omega square mu epsilon. This term x dash np by a whole square is written as omega c square mu epsilon. So from which take omega square mu epsilon as common outside, it is written as omega square root of mu epsilon. So further it is written as 1 minus fc by f whole square. So this is the very important formula. So that means the phase shift constant beta g, we use it as omega square root of mu epsilon into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So we use this again and again, the phase shift constant formula, while solving the problems. So this is the phase shift constant, we use again and again this formula. Now finally, so 3 more formulas. This is the first phase shift constant. Next one is the cutoff frequency. The third one is the phase velocity, the phase velocity in fact, which is represented with V suffix P. As you know that the phase velocity formula is simply omega by beta g. As you know from the phase velocity from electromagnetic is omega by beta g. Keep omega as it is, and what is beta g? So very important formula, omega square root of mu epsilon into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So from which omega it cancels out. So 1 by square root of mu epsilon is written as c by, or we can write it as v. So v, so that is equal to 1 minus fc by f whole square. So therefore, what is the phase velocity? The phase velocity is given as velocity by, so 1 minus, or we can write it as c also, no problem, fc by f whole square. So where what is v? So where v is equal to 1 by square root of mu epsilon is the velocity of the wave outside the circular waveguide. So outside the circular waveguide. So that means, okay, later we will discuss about this, the difference between this velocity and phase velocity. Now the next parameter is the phase velocity. Next, the guide wavelength. Another very important, guide wavelength, which is represented with lambda g. The guide wavelength, which is represented with the fourth important parameter. For example, say if this is the circular waveguide, for example, let us assume that. So this is the circular waveguide. So suppose if the wave is traveling with a velocity v outside, so then when it enters into the waveguide, its velocity, phase velocity changes to Vp. So suppose if the wave is traveling with a wavelength of lambda, when it goes inside, its wavelength becomes lambda g. So therefore we have find out the expression for phase velocity. Now we will find out the wavelength of the wave. Suppose this is the wave traveling outside. When it enters into the circular waveguide, its wavelength changes. That is called as guide wavelength lambda g. So therefore, let us derive this formula. So what is beta g phase shift formula? 2 pi by lambda g. So from which what is lambda g? So 2 pi by beta g. So substitute beta g, so which we have derived earlier. So therefore lambda g is equal to 2 pi by, firstly what is beta g? Omega square root of mu epsilon into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So write this omega as 2 pi f. So 2 pi gets cancels out. So 1 by square root of mu epsilon is already, I have written it as velocity. So it is written as velocity by f. This is the velocity of the wave outside the circular waveguide by 1 minus fc by f whole square. So but what is the velocity? Since v is equal to f lambda, so v by f is equal to lambda, so therefore this is replaced by lambda. So therefore what we can write it is, so the guide wavelength, that is the wavelength of wave inside the circular waveguide is v by f is replaced by lambda, so that is equal to 1 by fc by f whole square. So see, the denominator factor is same for all the formulas. So the denominator factor, this term is same. So this term is same for all the phase velocity, guide wavelength. Last parameter we derive is the wave impedance. So wave impedance, that is impedance of the wave, so which is represented with Zg. So last parameter we derive. So therefore the wave impedance is written as the ratio of electric field to magnetic field ER by H phi. So which is written as omega mu by beta g. So omega mu by beta g, the wave impedance is written as, if you substitute beta g in this formula, so omega mu by what is beta g? Omega square root of mu epsilon into 1 minus fc cutoff frequency of the waveguide by, so you can cancel out omega and omega. So one square root, the numerator will become square root of mu by epsilon. So therefore the ZG, the wave impedance, is written as square root of mu by epsilon by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So which is further written as eta, square root of mu by epsilon is written as eta by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So this is the another important formula we use while solving the problems, the wave impedance of the wave inside the waveguide. So this is the formula. What is eta here? So eta is equal to this. So where eta is equal to square root of mu by epsilon is wave impedance outside the circular waveguide. Suppose what is the meaning of this is that, for example, if the wave has impedance, eta outside the circular waveguide, when it enters into the waveguide, the wave impedance is taken as Zg. So therefore, what is the relation between Zg and the impedance? Eta by square root of 1 minus fc by. So in all the formulas you can check that this term, so this term and this term, phase velocity, guide wavelength and wave impedance, the denominator factor is same in all the formulas. So this is what you have to derive for TE waves. So we have to derive the field components ER, E5, EZ, HR, H5, and we have derived the phase shift constant. The phase shift constant is given by this formula. The cutoff frequency is given by this formula. TE11 is the dominant mode. The dominant mode is the mode with the lowest cutoff frequency. For lowest dominant mode, x dash and p is equal to 1.841, and beta g is further reduced like this. The phase velocity is given by the velocity of the wave outside the circular waveguide by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. The guide wavelength, the wavelength of the wave inside the circular waveguide is this formula, where lambda is the wavelength outside the circular waveguide. So the wave impedance is given by, so eta by square root of 1 minus fc, where eta is the wave impedance outside the circular waveguide. Unbounded dielectric can also write like that. So this is all about, we have to write about very important question, transverse electric waves in the examination. Thank you.